I think we're back. It's been what? A whole
Like
week and a half?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Dan, where were you? Let the people know.
I was in Arizona
Why,
for spring
why were
training.
you in Arizona?
Spring training, man. It was absolutely awesome too. It was a great time.
Was it worth missing a whole week and a half of the Draft Dodgers?
Of course it was. Of course it was. Are you
Yeah, you don't love
kidding?
us like that.
I didn't miss you that much. Not that much.
What's there to miss? What's there to miss? It's a shame, but okay. So who'd you go see? Who were the standout prospects, young guys? I mean, the Dodgers just demoted Hyesung Kim. So
Yeah.
what's going on? Are the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Are they cooked?
Oh man, I didn't expect much from Hyesung Kim to begin with, so I was okay with it. But like on the backfields, I get to watch pretty much everyone for the Dodgers, like Tapala and Sire Hope, and those are the guys that stood out to me, at least like offensively. Those guys, they just look like future monsters. I think the Dodgers have a bright future,
Really?
even outside of everyone they already have.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have a bright future? That's very brave to say.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you're one of the few, the proud, who claim that the Dodgers have a bright future. But yeah, no, Zaire Hope. Who was the other one?
You know what? I don't know how he pronounces his
Josue
first name.
DePaula?
I think it's Josue DePaula. Yeah,
He's nice too. Anybody else? Any future underdog dinger picks that we can make?
Hey man, Jackson Ferris maybe.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Draft Trout on your last dinger entry, Dan. You won't. And that is kind of what this episode is. This is your last dinger, 149 out of 150. That's big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a lot of work, man. It's been a lot of work.
$1,500 into this.
Yeah. And obviously there's a lot more with it, with all the other contests and stuff I've done. But that's neither here nor there. Like, yeah, I can't believe I've done 149 dingers. Like, I don't know where I found the time to be able to do that, but I did.
Can't believe you're about to be in 150. You're almost there. How many frozen ropes? There's only 20 frozen ropes you can enter as well. So
yeah, I'm at 18
out of 20. Wow, you're almost maxed. I mean, there is 7 days. We're a week away from Tokyo.
Yeah, but although the all these contests don't close until like real opening day.
But those games count though, right?
They do not.
Oh, they don't? I could have sworn I saw from that date. Okay, well, that's good to know. So wait, so you miss 2 Dodgers and 2 Cubs games into the contest. Does that matter at all?
No, because it's like a weekly thing, and then like the way the playoff structure works, you're not necessarily losing games like on the front end.
That's true.
If it went all the way to the end of the season, then maybe, but it doesn't work that way, so it's perfectly fine.
It's not like a roto format where there's 2 games that you're not going to get basically out of each team,
yeah.
which it wouldn't affect it that much, but it's definitely like a tiebreaker for some guys. And hey, maybe some pitchers, if they blew up like Yoshinobu Yamamoto last year, you didn't want that start in, non-underdog leagues. It would have gotten canceled out in best ball, but that's neither here nor there. We're back with the Draft Dodgers. I'm Kev Mahserejian. That's Dan Preciado. He is back from spring training. And we are going to go over our late round sleepers. We're going to cover some of our exposure in drafts. We do have, I'm not even 100 drafts in. I think I'm about 86.
Nice.
So I'm a little more than halfway to maxing. I don't know if I'm going to go full max at 150, but Dan's almost there. And, it's kind of frustrating to pick the same guy over and over again. You want to diversify, but you see some guys. We have the cover photo, our thumbnail, Max Muncy. Max Muncy's a guy we're both Dodgers fans that we both love in this format. But Dan, tell us what makes a sleeper in the Dinger. What makes a sleeper in a best ball points league like this? What are the target stats, target concepts you're looking for in a player, specifically on offense?
Yeah, so I think in particular, you're just looking for power, right? Like those are the type of guys that are going to give you spikes in certain weeks. And Max Muncy's a prime example. We could easily see him hit 30, 35 home runs. And then at the same time, you need guys that can play, like that play every day. Just because guys have power doesn't mean they're gonna play enough to actually matter. So I think that all the power stats are what's important, and a guy like Muncy too, like with the walks, that kind of provides him with a safer floor than a lot of other guys, because you don't get dinged for the strikeouts, you don't get dinged for the low batting average, so you're just looking for the power categories.
No, definitely. That's the big bugaboo. Power gets you where you need to go. So guys like Luis Arias or even a Steven Kwan, let's say, you're just you have to draft at a certain point, maybe, or do you? Are you completely out on guys like that? Especially like Kwan's an outfielder, so
yeah, I do have a different opinion with Kwan than I do with Arias. Like Arias, I think you just can't draft him. Period. Like I'm pretty sure in my rankings, I have him like outside of the top 240.
Wow.
Not by a lot, but he is outside the top 240. So, like I guess there's a time and place for guys like that, like Steven Kwan, because he is an outfielder. Like you can put him on Jose Ramirez teams and stuff, but he's got to fall for me. It's just guys that do not hit for power are not guys that I'm necessarily interested in.
Never Arias. If
Correct.
I drafted Luis Arias, someone kill me. Hey, Nick, I'm going to hold you to that. Don't let us see you that draft Arias. But yeah, I'm just going to put up on the screen right now some of the stats that go into these Dinger, Frozen Rope, what's it called? And Dinger, Frozen Rope contests. There's a couple others, but yeah, so we see singles are 3 points, doubles are 6 points, triples are 8 points, home runs are 10 points. And obviously with home runs come RBI and runs naturally. That's just part of the game. You get a home run, you get a run and an RBI, and maybe you get 4 RBIs, and that's 8 points that you're adding on to the 10 that you got. So power is king. Stolen bases are 4. How do you view stolen base, like speedy guys? Obviously, these are points. Points aren't, it's never bad to get points. But do you think this devalues them, with home runs being 10 points and steals being 4 points? Whereas like in a roto league, a steal and a home run are almost equivalent in value as a category.
Yeah, definitely devalues them. Like if there's zeros in power and have a ton of speed, like they do hold value, I guess, like in a floor kind of way. Like a good example is Xavier Edwards. Like he's not a guy I'm particularly drafting, but I think his floor is decent for where he goes. Like it's just, you need 25 stolen bases to even meet 10 home runs in the same value, right? Because it's 4 to 10. Mm-hmm. So if you have a guy that can separate with stolen bases and you're like super confident, like an Ellie De La Cruz is a first rounder, I guess, for a reason. But if you told me Xavier Edwards was going to steal like 80 bases, that would be super intriguing, because that's the equivalent of making him I can't even do the math in my head. It's been a while.
Okay, are we saying 4 times 80? That's 320. Yeah.
No, I was talking about like relative to home runs.
Yeah. So,
like 80 stolen bases would be 32 home runs.
Yeah.
Right? Which would make him super valuable. It all goes into it,
yeah.
You would have to bank on guys to steal bases, and there's really nobody that you can bank on year to year like to steal 70 plus bases. There's just not guys like that in the league anymore.
Are like the riskier guys to get like demoted or not hit well anyway.
Yeah. That's a great point.
Like, so where do you value? Like, do you draft a PCA who's pretty much all speed? He has some pop, and he could hit his triples, and like we see, like triples are worth a decent amount of points too. Triples and doubles, 8 points, 6 points, but it's not something you really want to bank on.
Yeah, I think that's a good kind of line of thinking, is guys who steal bases. It's like a flourish thing rather than okay, this guy's gonna, if he can go off for 50-50, like, does it really matter? Like, of course it does, because it's Ohtani. But if he's going 10-50, like the value difference is just, we're talking about an absolutely massive difference in guys. Just like the counting stats might look pretty, but they're just not that meaningful.
Nope, not at all. So I'm glad we got to cover all of that. And we do have a draft that we're going to get into. But before we do it, we discussed Muncy. We discussed some guys we don't like. Who are some of the guys you've drafted in the late rounds? Like, do you mind sharing your screen, showing some exposure right now? Because I'm going to go over that right now. Because most of the guys I'm heaviest on are the mid-round guys. I'm a lot more spaced out with the early rounds because, you can get, there's in the top 50, there's so many good players available. It's not hard to find a good player in the top 50. So it's easier to diversify. Whereas the deeper you go into drafts, the more often you're clicking the same names over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Toglia. Toglia is a name that I've certainly clicked a lot, and he's an infielder. I wish he was outfield eligible. He'd probably be 60 picks higher, if not more. But yeah, I'll get into this right now. Some of the guys I have right here. Nathaniel Lowe, Brandon Lau, excuse me, Tristan Casas, Yandy Diaz, and there we go, Michael Toglia. Those are some of my higher drafted infielders. That's where I have most of my exposure on Underdogs, Dinger, and Frozen Rope, which I haven't really done much of. And then on the outfield front, Tyler O'Neill, which could go either way, just depending on how healthy he is. Lars Nootbaar, fan favorite, both of us. Trojan, fight on. We love Lars Nootbaar. JJ Bleday. We both love that Athletics New Park. The fact that they're away from the Bay. Cruz and Wood. I don't know how you feel about this, but I've stacked a lot of Dylan Cruz and James Wood because I got Nathaniel Lowe as well. I'm really into the Nationals this year. How are you feeling on the Nationals?
Yeah, I think they're interesting, at least at the top of the order. I've drafted a lot of James Wood. I don't have a ton of Dylan Cruz because I don't know if the power's there yet. I expect him to go crazy in the stolen base department, but I don't think he's a bad pick.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I just find that he's easy to stack with those three. And then if need be, I could get a Josh Bell later, which I haven't had to. But this is a sleeper episode, and sleepers are Nolan Jones. He's going in the 150 pick range. He's not the biggest sleeper. Obviously, he was a hyped guy in 2024. Dealt with a litany of issues between his knee, his back, which flared up a few times. Are you into Nolan Jones this year or the Rockies in general? Because I've been matching Jones and Toglia pretty often, kind of mixed in Beck recently, but I'm not too heavy on the Jordan Beck season. Where are you at on Nolan Jones?
Yeah, so I'm definitely into Nolan Jones. I started off the draft season like taking him, it felt like every draft, because I thought he was too cheap, and he still is in my opinion. And for some reason, I don't have nearly as much as I thought I did. I have 11% right now. It's kind of hard for me to get my exposures up because I'm having that stupid Underdog location error thing. Where'd you go?
Sorry, the dog came up. I had to go check on it real quick. But no, nevertheless, yeah, Nolan Jones, just the fact that he walks, the fact that he has the power, he plays in Coors. Offense, I think, is a little better this year. Not much better. Obviously, playing for the Rockies, you're going to have to score runs to win games. Not that that's the only reason teams are going to try to score runs, but swing for the fences. I don't know. If he's healthy, I like Jones. High strikeout rate, high walk rate. Variance is kind of what I'm going to try to lean into in a format like this. But why don't you send me your exposures here? Who are some of the higher rostered Dan players? So feel free to send that over whenever you get. But yeah, no, looking at it with the Colorado Rockies and the Washington Nationals, I'm kind of betting on two of the worst teams in the league. And I hate drafting bad teams. I'm a big good players, good teams kind of guy. But in formats like this, are you more lenient towards players on bad teams?
That's a solid question. I guess I don't really think about it as much because I'm just trying to draft good players. But at the same time, it's like if you're trying to stack these guys and they don't have a whole lot of stacking partners you like, that kind of creates a problem, I think, down the road when you're getting into the later rounds and drafts. So I guess like naturally I lean into the really good teams and the really good offenses because those are the guys that go in every draft. But I think that there is some like serious value in taking guys that are on bad teams if they're good themselves.
Speaking of, here's something that I've found some difficulty with the Pirates, because I love O'Neill Cruz. I love drafting O'Neill Cruz. He's going around the 5th round. pick 50 to 60 range, depending on the drafts. He's even fallen to the 65 to 70 in some leagues, but there's no one to stack him with. I'm not taking 37, 38-year-old Andrew McCutchen. Brian Reynolds goes before him, and I don't love Brian Reynolds. I think he's very good, obviously, but he's not the kind of guy you want in a format like this, whereas I love an O'Neal Cruz, a boom bust, spike week kind of guy in a format. But like, there is very little correlation. Their starting first baseman on roster resource via Fangraphs is DJ Stewart. Leadoff is Tommy Pham, another 37, 38-year-old.
Yeah.
Do you feel any discomfort taking a player you can't stack?
Yeah, so it goes in line with what we were just talking about. I think O'Neal Cruz is kind of like just the absolute perfect example, because I just sent you over my exposures right now.
I'm going to put them up right now.
I wasn't able to share them. So I have a lot of O'Neal Cruz. I think I have 18%. And I have hardly any Brian Reynolds. So I've taken the stance that I'm okay with just drafting like Cruz naked and just approaching it from there. I don't feel the need to take McCutchen.
Good thing about Cruz, no one else is stacking him. There's no one to stack. I mean, someone's going to get very random. Who's about Nick Gonzalez? God forbid I draft Nick Gonzalez. I am not doing that, but someone's going to figure it out.
I will not be. I've seen guys take Nick Gonzalez. So
the Isaiah Kiner falafel. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. But while we're here, we're going to put up your exposures right now, because that's what the people are here for, honestly. Share screen, share image. Yeah, there we go. Right there. Okay. These are your pitchers. You say Kikuchi. Who cares about it? We're going into hitters right now. I don't know why you showed me your pitchers.
Oh, I sent you all of them.
Oh, you did. Excuse me. But we'll go over these in a second. We'll go over pitchers soon. But yeah, we'll do this. Stop sharing. I am still very bad at a lot of this. Okay, here are the hitters. Max Muncy, poster boy. I do have a lot of Muncy as well. Wilson Contreras, love Wilson this year. Matt Chapman, Hoskins, Cruz. You're another Cruz guy. Will Smith. Let's get into Will Smith real quick. How do you feel about this alleged bone bruise he's been dealing with since last year that's causing him discomfort?
Yeah, so this is the one guy on this list that I wish I had less of. I was taking him because he just goes too late, and I think he was like, it's like a value pick that late, I guess. But I am kind of concerned because he fell off at the end of last season. I think the workload's kind of taking a toll on him, and the Dodgers have some legitimate catching prospects coming up too. So I think that he could get spelled more frequently. So I don't know. He's a guy that I think I have slightly too much exposure to, but it is partially because I have a lot of exposure to like the late Dodgers, like Muncy, and which I'm sure we'll get into on the next slide, Michael Conforto.
Yeah. Vlad, Royce Lewis, Berger, Corey Seager, Pete Alonso, kind of just run-of-the-mill kind of guys. I don't know. Jake Berger's going after pick 100, but like the real sleeper here is Rhys Hoskins. Rhys Hoskins been rising recently. He's a guy who really had a hot April last season, coming off of an ACL tear. He missed all of 2023 and then fell off and hit near 200. He was basically a Mendoza line hitter. His power was there, but I don't know. Like, I'm a believer in Hoskins one more season removed from the ACL. And if he can't figure it out this year, I think he's pretty much cooked.
Yeah. That's the narrative I'm trying to buy into, is that he's just another year removed from the ACL. And for this contest in particular, the way it's structured and the scoring and everything, I think he's kind of built for it. And for a long time, you could get him in the 19th, 20th round. That's no longer going to be a thing because he's having one hell of a spring. He had another home run today.
5.
Yeah, he's up to 5. He's up to 5 on the spring. But yeah, I mean, he's a home run hitter. He walks a lot, kind of stabilizes his floor a little bit. So yeah, I'm really, really bought into Hoskins. Like in my last few drafts, I haven't been taking him because he's going higher than now that I'm willing to pay. But for a long time, I was just buying him up. At one point, I had 40%. So he's one of my like biggest flag plants this year. I think he's just going to be like a massive, massive value.
Something you could do earlier that you can't do as much now is the Reese Hoskins, Garrett Mitchell back-to-back round 18, 19, 19, 20. You can't do that anymore. They've both risen plenty.
Yeah.
But Wilson Contreras is still attainable. And
Yeah.
so are a lot of the Cardinals. I mean, Jordan Walker suffered a knee injury, but it's not anything too serious. It seems like inflammation / soreness. That was due to a sprinkler on
Yeah,
the
I didn't even
field.
see the cause.
Yeah, he stepped on a sprinkler during spring training and he left the
Uh-huh.
game. So I don't know how serious that is. I don't know if I'm going to buy the dip either because it's not like he's hitting that well anyway during spring. They said they want to get him plate appearances. They want to get Nolan Gorman plate appearances. But I mean, if you're stacking today, are you still stacking Contreras with a Walker and maybe a Brendan Donovan? I know you don't like Alec Burleson and you have a ton of Lars, but are you still taking a Walker?
No, I think he's like just outside of range. The only counter though is like outfielders are kind of dying right now.
Very much so.
Right?
Pitchers
so
too.
Yeah, pitchers too. So you're starting to find in like the 20th round guys that used to be there, that last outfielder you can tack on, they're not there anymore. The Jesus Sanchez's and Lars Nootbaars and Garrett Mitchells of the world, like they just can't be had. Like I think the last 10 to 15 drafts I've done, like you see MJ Melendez go or like Heston Kjerstad's going in every draft, and it's like
I've taken a lot of
landscape
Kjerstad.
I have two. I have two. Yeah, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. It's just like guys that were outside of the like maybe 20% drafted clip, they're now pushing closer to 100%. They're like in the 70 to 80 range maybe.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing when you think you're getting someone who's going to be low owned and then they turn out heavily owned. And we still have another week and a half until games start. So yeah, that number might increase a little more. Let's move on to outfield. We have your other here. Well, we'll get into your other Milwaukee players right now. So you have Garrett Mitchell. That's probably your big flag plant for this year, Garrett Mitchell as a breakout candidate. And he looked good last year in a short stint, suffered a lot of injuries in recent years. I believe he had shoulder surgery, lower body issues, similar to Mike Trout. But yeah, he's always hurt. But so is Tyler O'Neill, so is Byron Buxton. Jason Dominguez had TJ, Tatis is always hurt. So I think there's a trend here with your outfielders.
There definitely is. I want guys that I know are good at baseball. Simple as that. Especially with the outfield and how weak it is. Like, I'm not trying to find necessarily like a guy who I know is going to play every day and give me like really piss poor rate stats.
Yeah.
I want guys that I know are good, and maybe I can piece together some elite production from the 3 spots required each week, right? So, yeah, there definitely is a theme. Like, Nootbaar can't stay healthy. Buxton can't stay healthy. O'Neill has his issues. Mitchell, Trout, like, even Tatis. Yeah, like, I just...
Too many issues to count. Suzuki's had his soft tissue injuries. Yeah. You got to kind of lean into the variance, compound risk at a certain point because you're trying to get as much quote-unquote superstar production as you can. And hey, there's obviously Mike Trout that nobody's going to doubt that he has superstar potential. But like, I see 2 guys here, Angels, Ward and Soler. That's an interesting combo over there. And I've gotten both of them pretty often. But and Trout, obviously. But how intrigued are you by the Angels offense in 2025?
I would say a 10 out of 10.
Wow. It's a great part for hitters. Yeah,
I don't think that they're going to be, like, I've said it before, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team.
No.
Because their pitching staff is still weak. Yeah. I don't think they're going to even really come that close, but I think that their offense is going to really, really outperform expectation. I typically, like, on average, probably have at least 1 Angel in a draft, every draft I do. That's just the way it's kind of worked out to this point. Like, even we looked at my pitchers briefly, like, who's my most owned pitcher? He's an Angel. I don't know. I think that's just like coincidence, but yeah, I'm really into their offenses here.
Yeah, I like that. That's a I mean, they're one of those teams with, what is it, 14 games in the final week. I actually marked it out. I've put down the list. Excuse my dog barking in the back. But I am going to do this right now. I don't know why Here. I have it up. I'm very bad at sharing screens. Here, window, entire screen, Chrome tab. Right there. And we're here. Okay, you could barely see it. Yeah, the Angels are in the final week, it's the Angels and Guardians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the final playoff week, Angels and Guardians are the two teams with 14 games. That's every day for 2 straight weeks that the Angels and Guardians are playing. Most of the teams are 12, so it's not like something too crazy. So you're not really missing out on much. It's not a heavily skewed 14 game schedule for half the league. It's only 2 teams. And 13 versus 12, that could change depending on platoons, health, off days. The 1 game differential is too marginal. I don't know if you'll agree, Dan.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. Especially it's been kind of talked about, like the Rays playing outdoors. Like they could pretty easily have like 15 games in the finals. Like it can move around. Like there's always so many factors.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
things can change. It's not like we're only targeting Angels and Guardians. I really don't even like the Guardians that much.
Yeah, neither do I. That's a team that I do not really draft pieces from outside of Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
Yeah, but things change, man. Like just because it's 14, 13, 12 right now doesn't mean it's going to stay that way.
Yeah, postponements happen, double headers happen all the time. It's nothing. This isn't exactly something to bank on. So between 13 and 12 games, would you prefer the 13 games? Sure. And I do like a lot of the Rays, a lot of the Nationals, Phillies, Padres, Mets, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to draft Marlins and White Sox just because they have 13 games.
Agree. Yeah. I don't think it's a big enough separator.
Not at all.
When we're talking about games in the finals, because another thing that's important to look at too is actually games in the semifinals and quarters.
Yeah, you got to get to this
contest too. Yeah, like I think both of the 14 game teams, the Angels and Cleveland, they both have 12 games in the semis and quarters. That's just the way their schedule shakes out. So like, if you can advance some of those pieces to the finals, it's really good because they have 14 opportunities to put up scores. But to actually get there is kind of a difficult proposition because they have 12 and 12.
Yeah.
So it's like a balancing act. I think it really is a crapshoot at the end of the day, but
it is.
Health
is king.
Yeah, health is king. Health is absolutely king.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Obviously, this is so far ahead. We don't really know we know kind of conceptually who the elite offenses are going to be. We know the Dodgers are going to be good, the Braves, the Rangers, probably the Orioles, the Mets. But at the same time, 1-2 pieces go down. That whole thing, it comes crumbling down sometimes. Maybe not for the Dodgers and the Braves, but for other teams. Yeah, that's definitely, unfortunately, how the cookie may crumble for a lot of these squads. But why don't we get into drafting? I'm going to hop into one of these underdog bad boys. You're going to hop into one of these underdog bad boys. If anybody in the chat wants to hop into a draft, you're fucked, Dan. I have a lot of these outfield. Shout out to Nick. Nick is active and alive.
Yeah.
I will make sure not to hop into a 8-hour draft this time. I will hop into a 30-minute.
Oh yeah. I forgot you did that last time. That was bad.
That was fun. Yeah. Nothing wrong with it.
Dinger number 150.
Dinger number.
Are you in?
63. I'm in.
Okay. I am in also.
So one person. Oh my God. I don't know if we're going to get. Are you going to get in this?
I'm in.
Underdog? You're in. Oh, sorry, Jimmy. No underdog in Delaware. I know. You should just drive across state lines regular. I know Delaware's not huge. You could go to a nearby state with Underdog. Go draft with us sometime soon. Here, I'll post the screen up. Let me get this. Once. What's up? Are you not in it?
Yours says 2 more, right?
Mine says 1 more.
Oh, mine says 2 more. Are you in an 80 or 8-hour one?
I'm gonna leave. Dinger, right?
Yeah. Are you?
Mine says now waiting for one person.
Now mine says waiting for one person.
It does?
Now it says that. Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, I think you were in the wrong one.
That seems like a common thread here.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get this going.
So
I'll put it
just
up.
waiting on one more. Man, I can't believe this is my my final one, man. It's been a lot of work. All right, we're filled up.
Ride, some might say. Here, let's get the. Here we go. Are we both in this? Yes, we are. Wow,
yes,
and
we
we're
are.
pretty close to one another.
Yeah, we are.
Fun, lovely. We love to see it. Here, I'm going to share the screen so we can all see who Dan and I are drafting. This full transparency. No shot. He did the 8-hour thing again. I didn't. We're in the same draft. I would join if I didn't max it 2 months ago. Sick flex, Nick. That's.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do about that? Do you want me to have dropped 1,500? I got to grind for these $10 drafts, sir. Got to save my little piggy bank. Okay. Draft starting in 15. Yeah. We got a couple names. Pyro. I've seen Pyro before often. I've seen this Dan Preciado.
I know you've seen me around.
Hottest Sauce, Turbotron. Around. I'm sure a lot of these guys have maxed by now.
Yeah, I know quite a few that have, or are at least close.
Yeah, so we're trying to get there.
I mean, I'm done after this. This is number 150 for me. So
this is number 150. I would put up a graphic to celebrate if I knew how.
Yeah, I don't even know what. I think I'm just gonna take guys. You know what I should do is make this the all fade team.
Oh, I like that. So you're doing the opposite
like
of what you've done thus far. This is your do it. Fuck it. It'll give me players I like.
Yeah, I'm gonna take only guys that I don't like. I think that's a good idea. Yeah,
I think it's a great idea for my sake.
And then this will be the one team that I advance because it's got all the players I faded.
I love it. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Also, the draft board is not updating.
It's not interesting. Oh, fascinating. Is this stop sharing, delete, the dinger 2 picks away? I don't know. I do not know why that is happening. Okay, I'm going to just do it like this. Share this screen. Told you I'm very bad at this.
Oh, we know. You're going to be on the clock here shortly, too.
No, I have it on my phone, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. There we go.
Can we see it? Everybody can see?
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah, okay. Kev's up. Gunnar Henderson, Yordan Alvarez, Jose Ramirez, all available, and I am not going to take any of them. I'm going to take Fernando Tatis Jr. He's raking.
Love it.
Spring. I have a lot already. I am not doing an all fade team because I am nowhere close to Dan. So I'm still taking players I like.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, Vlad at 8. Very interesting.
Very curious.
Okay, so the guy that's top of the board in ADP is like one of my only first round semi fades.
Semi fade. I've taken him a good bit until I saw this recent report about his knees, but you've been fading.
I think he's cooked. I've been fading him all year. I've mixed him in a couple times.
Yordan Alvarez cooked.
I don't know about cooked.
Dan
he's still. Yeah, he's that's a little bit of an exaggeration because he's still one of the best pure hitters in the game. But
he's incredible. He
we're talking about
290 to 300 every year.
Yeah, we're talking about a first rounder. Like it's just tough to bank on him. So another guy I pretty much entirely faded this year is we're just gonna do it. We're gonna get into this fade team. I think. Normally I take Schwarber here, but I'm gonna take Jarren Duran because I never take him.
You never take Jarren Duran?
No, I never do. He's not a guy that I'm super into this year.
Yeah, I don't blame you. He's a weird one. He doesn't walk too much. He's had his injury history in the past. The Red Sox are weird because if Devers isn't healthy, I know they added Bregman, but it's kind of gross. And
Yeah, I mean, there's hope. There's hope. I like their lineup, even if Devers
I
isn't
do
a part of it.
too with the young guys, but it's like, when are they going to be up?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to figure
Oh, speaking of the
that
guy
out.
you
But
faded or the guy you didn't take, I'm going to take Kyle Schwarber. I have a
wow,
lot of
that's a
Schwarber
sick fall.
Tatis. I have a
Yeah,
lot of that. It's a pretty
yeah.
common pick. Chorio would have been my other pick if he had gone. I would have probably taken him over Duran, which I've done pretty often. But yeah, hey, watch this team be the winner. This is going to be the one that takes it all home.
I think my all fade team is going to be the winner.
I
Yeah,
think so too.
just because it means I've
149
been
drafts
wrong.
just
It
to
means
get to
I've
this
been
point.
wrong this whole time, and this will be the winner.
You should have drafted 6 infielders to start and then force yourself to take as many outfielders as possible. That could have been the opposite day team.
Yeah, I should have done that actually, but
Acuna mid draft. Acuna Ellie is curious. Like I don't know how I feel about that. It's good.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Acuna's fine because
Acuna's also been falling. I think his ADP is down to like the 20s now.
Yeah, he's a playoff player. You know, you're banking on him in playoff weeks, so
Yeah.
it's just him not stealing bases, like kind of interesting because I don't think he's a nearly good enough like hitter, consistent hitter.
Yeah.
He's obviously amazing, but with the month gone and no stolen bases, it's kind of interesting. I currently have him ranked, I think, 27th.
Wow.
So he's just a little bit ahead. Yeah, it's just like he goes ahead, so I don't have too much. I was taking him like kind of nonstop at the beginning, because I expected more favorable news. Yeah,
if he doesn't really steal 50 bases, let's say he steals 20, God forbid, but even so, it's like, what's the difference between him and Teoscar, who's going at like 28 to 29?
Yeah,
no, two really good but not all world hitters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I mean, Acuna's bat could be there, but he was also like his bat was also really, really slow the first time he had a significant
came off an ACL.
Injury. Yeah, like it's not something I want to bank on, even though I get the logic in this style contest.
2023 Acuna was special, but he was also stealing.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
Is that did I just see Aaron Nola go at the turn? Thank you, Pyro.
You sure did. Yeah.
Is this draft going to get canceled?
Man, well, it was all normal up until now, so
yeah. I mean, he took Tariq Skubal too, so it's not like it's crazy. Also, speaking of, okay, he took Ohtani, which Ohtani's a standard 101, but like, how do you feel about the reports about Ohtani not stealing as much? Does that impact you? And his the fact that he won't be hitting as much, or is that already in the calculus for you?
That's definitely already in the calculus. And Judge has been my 101 for like most of draft season. I was just trying not to get zeroed out towards the end of Ohtani because I think I drafted him like twice through my first 100 dingers or something like that. And I guess it's not exactly smart to fade somebody as talented as Ohtani. But yeah, this report that just came out is like something I definitely was already anticipating. I think it just makes logical sense that he wouldn't be stealing bases. He wouldn't be playing 162 games, right? Like we just can't expect that. He's not only coming off an injury, he's coming off 2 different injuries, and he's pitching.
Yeah,
like
the labrum tear. I was scared of Tommy John, but like apparently Tommy John to hitters isn't that impactful, which is crazy. But a labrum tear can definitely be semi-impactful. He's going to still have his power, but is the average is high. And speaking of lower averages, I'm going to take a James Wood here. 3 outfielders start. He does walk a lot. The variance in his game is fine in a points league with best ball because I'm not going to worry about the down weeks as long as he stays up, which I think he'll stay up in the MLB.
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about it emotion unless he goes like with a 40% K rate or something, which God forbid again. But who are you looking at here? 2 outfielders start. Who's the third guy?
I was going to take Devers because I don't draft a lot of Devers, and he would have stacked with Duran, but
he's gone.
The other guy, I'm so out on this year, so I'm just going to draft him as Trey Turner.
Okay, wow. Okay, so we have Houston, Boston, Philly. Yeah, I'm out on Trey Turner too. Does not steal as much. power dwindling, speed dwindling. Well, power not that much dwindling, but like the power average combo isn't as enticing.
No. His plate discipline's terrible too, so I
Yeah.
think that there's like a much lower floor with him.
Second
So the
pick
top,
in this.
I love this range. I know people hate it. Like I've heard people hate it. I love it personally. I always know who my targets are, and it's Trout, Butler, Green, Seager, like all those guys. But since we're doing the guys I do not like, I'm taking Brian Reynolds.
Oh, okay. Are you hoping a O'Neal Cruz gets back to you? Ideally,
No,
I guess.
because I can't draft O'Neal Cruz.
Oh, because it's your all fade. You do. Wow, you're just gonna go free balling on this one.
I am.
Okay, I like it.
I'm gonna see what happens.
I'm going. Pete Alonso's available. Zach Wheeler, Michael Harris, Corey Seager, Lawrence Butler, Riley Green. But I'm gonna lean to the stack, which I've done a lot. The Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis. Not to say play it safe, but it is kind of playing it safe because I have so much of it, and it's that correlation somewhat necessary to go all the way.
Yeah, I've been trying to, I can't really say that because I haven't been drafting as much because I'm slowing down here. But for a while there, I was doing my absolute best not to click Machado's name every time I was drafting Tatis because I had just done it so many times that it felt like overkill. Like I had the same two-man stack over and over and over again.
It's a 20-round draft, though. It's okay to have.
For sure. That's I don't think that there's any problem with it. It's like two studs. So, I just realized Corbin Carroll went at 4.
Oh wow! Sure.
I don't mind Corbin Carroll, but I would never take him over Bobby Witt.
I wouldn't take him over half those guys. That's just because my trepidation with his injuries. And if you're looking for more information on my take on Corbin Carroll, check out the Fantasy Pros Fantasy Baseball podcast hosted by Joe Orico. Vlad Sedler at Rotogut and I did a recent episode where we battled on outfield tiers. Corbin Carroll was a hot topic to start. So definitely go check that out. The Fantasy Pros Fantasy Baseball podcast. But I'll be on the way back here. You're not taking O'Neal Cruz. I kind of just starred him because I would love an O'Neal Cruz here. Why not?
Yeah, that would be nice. I always take him when I can. His ADP has really flown up to last few weeks. Like that was one thing. Like I went on vacation for a week and a half. I come back and try to draft, and I'm like, what the hell are these ADPs? Like it's good to see because it means I'm getting like a ton of CLV on my exposures. But at the same time, it's like, man, I can't draft guys I like anymore. They're all pushed up. Like Rhys Hoskins is a prime example. Yeah,
Rhys is definitely up to the 60th infielder range, whereas he was going almost undrafted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen him, or I did in the beginning of draft season. He'd go undrafted every now and then, which crazy.
4-5 Trout 4-5 days. Yeah, you're not getting Trout at the 4-5 turn anymore.
Yeah,
and I was not too into him initially, but I warmed up to him. Trout's Trout. This is the perfect format where it's like he misses 3 months in the middle of the season and comes back for the playoffs. That's fine and dandy by me.
Yeah, I've seen Trout. In fact, today I did a frozen rope with Nick, who just commented, and I think he pushed him up to like the early 3rd round.
Woo.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not too comfortable with that. Moving on to my next pick. I've got San Diego, Philly, and Washington. Not really much to stack here. There's some elite pitchers in Cease, Gilbert, Reagans, but I'm still looking at a hitter, and I'm going to get one of the two I want. I know I mentioned O'Neal Cruz, but the other one is Seiya Suzuki. Don't really have any Cubs to start, and I won't be getting him, so let's roll with O'Neal Cruz. You're not taking him anyway, so I don't feel bad about snatching your little stack. Yeah,
I'm
Cruz
looking at
he's hitting piss missiles in spring right now, and he just wasn't healthy. I don't think last year off the leg. He didn't seem fully comfortable.
I'm trying to take all my like fades, but I'm also trying to make a team that like makes sense, like stacking wise. So
do you take Castellanos?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
There you go. Trade Turner. I mean, you still want to kind of correlate somewhat. I assume you almost took Devers.
It's just all the guys I don't want. All the guys I don't want. These are names I never click, like, ever. So
Dylan Cruz. Wow, that is Dylan Cruz. Stephen Kwan. That's a turn right there.
Interesting.
This is just outfield desperation because I like Cruz. I would not take him early 60s.
You know what's really sad is if I had just drafted this team normally, I think I'd have like a team that I'd be in love with.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna take Marcus Semien because I don't like him. That's the whole logic. That's the point of this draft, man. That's the point of this one. This is because I've been meaning to do this, and it's funny that I forgot until now, and I'm doing it on stream. But
and I have there's like 3 pitchers available at the top here: Dylan Cease, Logan Gilbert, Cole Reagans. I can't not take Cease, who's apparently not going to get traded from San Diego. They seem like they're going to keep him.
Yeah, they should.
He's a good pitcher.
Yeah, that's a sick fall. For him. All these pitchers.
I understand the pitcher depth. We just lost Grayson, Kirby. Cole's done for the season. Pitcher injuries suck. So if you could get healthy ones this late who are elite, like Gilbert was also another one. Like I thought you were going to take a pitcher, honestly. I thought that whole turn was going to be pitchers.
Oh, yeah. I thought about taking Blake Snell because I'm kind of fading him.
Wow. Snell over Cease, Gilbert, and Reagan?
Well, remember, I'm drafting players I don't like. And I love Cease, Gilbert, and Reagans, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Cease has fallen to SP5, I believe. He was going SP4 for the longest time. I got him 14 picks post ADP. I'm pretty happy with that, given his volume and his volatility. Like, he's going to have really bad outings.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, this team I've drafted it's like hurting me. It's hurting my soul.
Yeah, you wish it was competent.
It's so gross. It's so gross. It's so bad. Because I pretty much got to the point where I was just drafting the same players over and over. But yeah, it would be funny if I gotta say, if this team advances, that means I'm screwed.
Yeah, basically. That means all of your good players sucked.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. I think the only guy I've drafted so far, I kind of want to see the exposures on some of these guys I'm drafting. I'm going to look it up. I have 8% Jordan. That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's decent.
4% Duran, 3% Semien, 4% Castellanos, and who was the other one? Reynolds? Oh, Reynolds and Trey Turner. Let's see.
I probably have a lot of these guys, though.
And then I
drafted a lot of familiar suspects here.
Yeah. Yeah, this team would have been nice.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
If I had drafted it like I normally would. Very sad.
So who would you have taken over Jordan, a Trey, a Duran? Who would have been the picks here?
After we go through this turn, we'll look at it again.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Christian Walker, who's hurt. No thanks. I'm going to go back to the pitcher well. I think. Or. Wow. Let's go with the 14 games. Taylor Ward.
I like it.
We're taking
I push Ward up a lot.
Yeah, he's been pushed up a lot, but at the same time, there's no such thing as too many outfielders.
Yeah. That's why I push him up, because it's getting to this range where I hate everyone.
Yeah.
So.
And the next guy drafted Trout, too, so he wouldn't be there at my next pick.
So I'm going to take the guy that we heard is potentially going to die, and it's Framber Valdez.
Hell yeah. Framber Valdez, allegedly, this might be his cooked year, but we'll see. We've been saying that every year for the last few. He's always nicked and bruised, but he makes it through seasons.
This hurts my soul. This hurts me because Christian Walker's like the biggest smash right here to stack with Jordan, but I'm gonna pass him up and go with Jose Altuve.
Disgusting. But also, I mean, it makes sense too, given that Walker's hurt.
Yeah, I guess it's not the worst.
Now, but, I'm going to take someone I've taken a lot, and that is Pablo Lopez, one of my favorite late 100. I don't know what to call it. In the later part of the top 100 pitchers. He's probably my favorite.
Yeah, he's also mine. The two that I typically draft just went back to back. And you're targeting different things with Strider and Lopez, but I think that they're like the standouts for me.
Yeah, Strider, you're looking for that late season push. Lopez, more of a full season steady kind of performance.
Yeah. And with Kirby pushed down too. Oh, yeah, his ADP's gone up, yeah.
That's crazy. He was going outside the top 100?
Yeah.
He still is in NFBC drafts because he doesn't really run anymore, but yeah, I don't know. Are you probably are not buying. You don't like Bichette in general. You didn't like him when his ADP was low.
No.
That should have been your pick.
Yeah, I you're right. I took Altuve because he was like the top of the ADP of guys I didn't like, and he kind of made sense. Yeah, he kind of made sense. Bichette, I couldn't be any more out on, and it's funny to see his price go up because I'm like, okay, I'm just like even happier with not paying the price.
Adames is someone that's been falling a lot recently, and I almost caught that falling knife. Not that he's not healthy or anything. I just don't like him in Oracle Park. I don't like that lineup. Yeah, he's a weird hitter. Like he's an accumulator, low average, solid OBP, which is fine for a format like this. But not a fan. No. Not a fan.
Yeah, I am not particularly either. But I think at this point, it's like at 86, I definitely would have considered him normally.
Yeah. Where was he going before? Like the 60 to 70 range? No.
In the bullpen, I want to say he was going like late 60s.
Yeah. So he's fallen a decent bit. He went pick 121 in my RotoWire OC last night. So that was right before me too. And I was so glad because I didn't want to take him. I ended up taking Bichette.
I'm pretty sure in the one that we did together, on stream, the Beat Kev OC.
Wow. Michael Toglia,
you took Adames. Oh my God. Oh, it's the same guy doing interesting stuff.
Yeah, he took Tovar. Who else has he taken?
Did he take Doyle?
I believe so. Or let me see. Did he take Doyle?
And he took Max Muncy.
Tell me. He took Muncy. He's taking all of our sleepers. There go the sleepers.
Yeah, he's just trying to put together a team of sleepers, I guess. I like some of these individual players.
Funny that like Shota's a fine
crazy
pick.
Up here. Yeah, I mean, okay. Like it's cool. Yeah, like Tolia Muncy is a very
yeah, he did take Doyle, so he's just going heavy into, I mean, Tovar at 72. Togli at 96. I mean, that's a quote unquote sleeper for me. That's not happening anymore. Sure. Hunter Green, Roki Sasaki. Solid. That's pretty standard. This is very funny.
Yeah, I see this kind of stuff all the time. There's like always 1, 2, 3 guys that just make things interesting. Season. Yeah. Like happened to me a couple times, man. I did my all Asian draft. Like,
oh my God, how that
kills you. It went really well. I like my team.
If you get thrown out, you get to draft again. Hey, that's a win.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Unfortunately,
there goes Jorge Soler.
Enough.
My Angel stack is no more, or mini stack.
I took Jorge Soler at like pick 87 today in a frozen rope.
Did you feel good about that?
I felt great about it.
Nice. I love to hear it.
Yeah. I have him in my top 80 now.
I'm probably going to have to take someone I take all the time, and I'm kind of disgusted by it.
Who is
it? Tyler O'Neill.
Oh, don't be disgusted. He's great.
I just have so much of Tyler O'Neill.
So do I. He's my second most owned outfielder right now.
He is my most owned outfielder. So
that's not a problem.
That ain't no problem. Yeah, no. I don't know why. It might be. It's not buyer's remorse. It's just. Oh, and he's available. There we
So
go.
I was gonna take Pete Crow Armstrong.
Oh yeah,
because I'm
you're
not drafting a whole lot of them.
our boy. But who
Yeah.
are you looking at now? Do you have Reds or Blue Jays? I don't believe so.
No, I didn't take Vladimir.
You have Houston. You have Philly.
Yeah. So this is like the range where I guess I'm not taking a lot of hitters because I always take pitching.
Yeah, I mean, you could go
there
Jake
is one
Burger, but
guy.
do you have a lot of Jake? You
No,
have a lot.
I have a lot of Jake Burger. Yeah. So the pick's kind of easy, I think, for me. I'm going to take George Springer because I think he's dead.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely cooked. I don't think he'll be like drafted in this contest next year. That's just my opinion.
It's not a crazy take. I mean, he's getting old.
Murdy back up, huh?
Take another dead player. Who's dead in the? I mean, George Kirby's dead, but like you drafted him.
You know, he's like has to be. You know who has to be a part of this team, like, or else it doesn't make any sense. Is Jung-Hoo Lee.
Oh, Jung-Ho Lee. Okay, you don't like Jung-Ho Lee, really? What's wrong with him?
I just think he's going to be an accumulator, and he's coming off of a massive injury. Like, I just had a conversation about this today. Like, if you're banking on a guy to be an accumulator and not really a spiker, like, don't you want somebody that is less injury prone?
That's fair. Speaking of injury prone, I just took
or not injury prone, but like coming off an injury.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Jordan Westburg coming off back soreness resulting from, or that resulted from him sleeping funny on a bed, like in a hotel. I don't know. We have sprinklers affecting Jordan Walker, and we have the springs in hotel beds impacting Jordan Westburg. The offseason or spring training is going great, guys. We're all having a great time. We love injuries. They're fun. GMPC Andrews in here, our boy. We love him and cherish him for driving down the Underdog streets because he is someone, like I've said before, who got me really into these drafts. Dan, you as well. You guys have both kind of twisted my arm to get more into Underdog.
Yep. And I've seen his name in drafts, like particularly with NFL. I remember seeing him in like BRs, and I think some dog bowl stuff too.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, he cashed. He banked an NBA contest recently. So.
Oh yeah, I think I did see that. See that.
That's good. That's the good stuff. Okay, moving on. I took Westburg with O'Neal. Probably look to take a few more. I mean, is Adley still? Yeah, Adley should still be available. Don't love it. Could be worse. If Adley's gone, I'm probably looking at a pitcher.
Adley should be gone. He's already 10 picks past ADP. Also, homeboy just took Zach Geloff. I'm a big fan of this 101 guy.
This is insane. Lourdes Gurriel, I think that's at ADP, so that's fine. Muncy, 60 picks before ADP. Toglia, 40.
At least he's taking good players.
Yeah, I actually don't hate. I mean, I don't love Lourdes Gurriel, but that's neither here nor
there. No, neither do I.
Or Tovar.
We should have drafted him over Jung-Hoo Lee, but I hate them both. So
you don't have Arizona, though. Yeah, that's fair.
No, I almost went Eugenio Suarez at 107, and then it would have made more sense to go Lourdes Gurriel at 110. Because I don't want either of them. But yeah.
Andrew came in fourth due to Gino in the Dog Bowl. Devastating.
Oh man,
prayers up.
Yeah, that's rough.
Prayers up.
That's rough. Mine was like the other kind of.
Yeah, you took Bowers over Justin Jefferson.
No. That was at the Dog Bowl. I don't want to talk about that. That was a very poor decision. Yeah. No, just to get my seed, it was like I was in first all day, and then kind of had to cling on. There were all kinds of just random things. I think it was DeAndre Swift that I was fading, and they didn't give him the goal line carry like at the very end of the game.
Oh yeah, that's natural.
It was like a 1 yard
touchdown. It was probably Roshan.
Of course, it was Roshan. Yeah, and because Swift didn't get the yardage, I think I I think I only got it by like 2 points or something. I ended up coming in
Oh.
second.
Back to pitchers. Another common click for me, Tanner Bybee. We're buying
Stud.
Tanner.
Yeah,
Buy-in,
I'm all over
Bybee.
Tanner Bybee.
So this has not been
I think
censored.
he's a smash.
Yeah, no. I mean, just in the range of young upside, going to give you volume. Him, Bryce Miller, Ober. I like all those guys, but they were gone. I've been into Sonny. He hasn't looked great in spring, but he was so good last year.
Yeah, Sonny is mispriced like by a couple rounds, I think. It's just I don't really get to him because I take a lot of bats where he goes.
Yeah, that's fair. George Kirby,
All right.
thank you. We don't have to worry about auto drafting him.
All right, guys I don't like.
You haven't drafted a lot.
Kevin Gausman.
He looks kind of good. He's hitting 96.
I think he could be okay. It's just I don't have a lot of them. I don't trust him. But
he's
I
at
think
least an accumulator with like volume.
Yeah. He was so good for multiple years, and I actually was making the bull case for him like very early on. I thought like, oh, we're taking this guy this late because of one bad year. Then I kind of dug in and I was like, like that maybe he's not entirely like washed yet. He's not that old.
It's not George Spring. I mean, he's kind of old. He's like 34.
I mean, that's not that old. Okay, so I got to figure this out.
He's not young either.
So I don't hate Dansby. I don't hate Jackson Holiday. So the top guy by ADP that I don't draft is Mason Wynn. So we're gonna do Mason Wynn.
There you go. Allows you to take some Cardinals later too, and I know you like some Cardinals.
Yeah, but I can't like them. That's the thing.
No, but like you don't take Jordan Walker.
Yeah, but I'm not going to take Jordan Walker because he's hurt. Yeah, I have 6 outfielders already.
Okay. Oh, speaking of my pick, and you mentioned him, Jackson Holiday. Just sticking with the stack: Westberg, Holiday, O'Neill.
Yeah,
Baby O's.
That's a guy. If Jackson Holiday hits his ceiling this year, I'm probably screwed. And I wish I had more because I think he's extremely, extremely talented. And we're getting him at a ridiculous discount.
Yeah.
But he's just it's not a name I clicked enough, I think, when I look back at like who I have.
I don't love it in general, but I do think he walked a lot coming into his MLB start. He's still so young. He's 21. Struggling at 20 in the MLB is not a death sentence. So I'm going to give him a shot. I didn't like him last year. I do like him this year. Let's see if he can, quote unquote, prove me right. Obviously, he was the former number 1 overall prospect. So it's not like the hottest take to say, hey, I think he could be good this year.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I have 2% Jackson Holiday.
Wow. So that's like a pretty close to a full fade.
Yeah, but it wasn't really intentional. So here's the thing, though. I'm trying to do the math. I think I've taken him 5 times.
Okay.
5 times the entire draft season. Is that right?
I mean, depends on how many
it's like 8. Overall. It's 8. It's 8.
Percent or 8 drafts?
8 drafts total.
Okay.
I just did the math, but I've taken him 8 times. I've done 360 drafts.
Okay.
Yeah. But the interesting thing, this is what I was trying to get to, is I've taken him in 2 frozen ropes.
Interesting.
But not really in the dingers. And I don't know why it worked out that way. See, that's the thing. I am a huge math guy, and that's like a problem. My mental math skills are
Andrew's
terrible.
asking, do you have a DFS or poker background? Clearly not a math background. Just you
count
cards.
Definitely a poker background.
I know because I played with you.
Yeah, I was into poker way before I got into DFS and like Underdog contests and stuff. I've been playing poker since it wasn't exactly legal for me to do so. So that was 6. I have to do more mental math now.
It's not necessary, but if you want to, it's up to you.
I'm gonna start counting on my fingers. No, I think it's been 8 years since I've been playing. I'm 24 now.
Matt Wallner. Let's see. Does Kev get another player he's targeted pretty heavily here? because we are not taking Cedric Mullins, no matter how much he is involved in this stack.
Yeah, that's a crazy Wallner slip.
Yeah.
I'd
Jock
be
Peterson. Well, yep.
there.
Kev gets Josh Lowe. So there's another
Yeah.
very common pick for me. That is run of the mill because you could get so much Tampa late. Lowe, I expect the bounce back from. Oh, there goes Yandy. Well, looks like I'm not going to get that part of the stack.
So the top guy so I would take Alec. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Alec Bohm. Because I wasn't drafting him the entire draft season.
Mm-hmm.
And within the last week, I've been warming up to him, but I still don't exactly love him.
Yeah, no, that fits the criteria. He's basically been a fade for you.
Yeah, and he also fits on this team with Trey Turner and Nick Castellanos, who I'm fading. So
you like Bohm, but you do like Bohm as a concept now.
Yeah, I don't think it's terrible because he's going to bat in the thick of the lineup. And we've talked about it. There's risk if he gets traded. I don't know if he will, but I guess we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, the later we go into the offseason, they've kind of made it seem like they're going to retain their guys. Who do they even have to replace him?
I have to take a picture eventually.
Eventually.
I like all these guys, which is the problem.
I'm probably going to have to take a picture too.
I'm going to take Brian Wu because I like him the least. And I don't
trust him to stay healthy, so it's kind of like why I haven't taken him. I have 0 Brian Wu.
Wait a second. Oh, I was looking at never mind.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna go someone who has risen up my boards recently. Actually, no. I'll wait on him. I'm gonna take a heavy riser, Christopher Sanchez. He's been rising a ton, but I've been into him and I'm fine with paying the Christopher Sanchez tax because this is still pretty pick 160 is still really reasonable for him.
Yeah, I have a decent amount of Christopher Sanchez. I don't think it's as much as I thought I had initially, but I know I have a lot in. I'm actually going to go check now. In the bullpen, I know I have I want to say 30%.
That's funny. I drafted Schwarber. I completely forgot to take any Phillies, so I probably maybe should have taken Bohm over Lowe, but neither here nor there.
Yeah.
At least you got him. What are friends for?
Because I didn't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 25% Christopher Sanchez in the dinger. Or not in the dinger, in the bullpen.
Nice.
Yeah. So I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, no, I love Sanchez. I've been taking him a ton, but he's been rising due to a very good spring training performance. The addition of a cutter. Still might not strike out that many guys, but if he strikes out just 8 per 9, 8.5 per 9, it's still good enough. Because his walk rate's going to be low, and he's just a fantastic. I mean, like I've said, I've comped him to Framber Valdez. Statistically, they're very close. The whip's going to be a little higher, but he's just so good.
And I was going to
deep into games.
Andrew McCutchen goes. If I was going to go with 7 outfielders, I was going to tack him on with Brian Reynolds.
McCutchen, Varsho, Abreu is a hell of a run. Good. If Pyro wins it all, we have to buy him a nice bottle of wine or something.
Yeah. And then, what's crazy about that team, too, is he's just randomly tacking on players that I actually really love. Tulia and Muncy and Wilson Contreras are
just those studs. Just taking them
mine.
Crazy ahead of ADP.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I like seeing the diversity. It's honestly not the worst strategy if you decide this dude took Luis Arraez. I probably should have done that because then I would have had Arraez and Jonah.
I bet you have 0 Arraez.
It's a good question. Let's see.
I think I have 1 or 2. And
I think I've drafted him once or twice. It's possible. So I have $18 worth of Luis Arraez. So if you know what I'm telling you right now, you know what that is?
3 drafts.
It's 3 eliminators.
Oh,
which I don't think he's a terrible pick in eliminators because
he's a safe pick.
Yeah, and then $3 is it's like the bunt or the base hit is the other where the other $3 comes from.
That tracks.
Yeah, that's funny. I wish I could have put Arraez on this team, and I probably should have done it. instead of Wu. But
You'll get him next time.
yeah,
Clay Holmes, that's helium right there for Clay Holmes. I mean, he looks good.
Yeah. Even just within the week and a half since the last time we drafted together, he's gone up like, what, 10 picks in ADP?
Something like that. Another typical pitcher for Kev, Brandon Fott. I'm a Fott man this year. Fott, Sanchez, Bybee, I probably have like a million. Well, realistically, I probably have that combination a couple dozen times.
This is so awesome. So I get to take my
taking?
first share of a guy I have not drafted once this year. I told you who I have never drafted. It's Jose Barrios.
Oh, well,
I get to draft them finally. I get to draft
Jose
them.
Barrios, George Springer.
Only on this team.
You don't think they're going to be drafted next year, do you?
No,
maybe
I don't think
Barrios if he pitches another 200 innings. Who knows?
That's like the only way, I think, because I just don't think he's like viable anymore. Like per inning basis, I think he's just going to be a gas can. But we'll see.
We'll see. And Will Smith just went.
So I need I don't really need pitching yet, do I?
How much do you have? 4?
I have 4. Tommy Edman, interesting pick.
The Edman. I mean,
I don't have a lot of Edman. I don't have a lot of him.
Let's see. 2 more picks. Who
are
players you haven't
Jeremy? I'm indifferent on Jeremy Pena. I know I don't have a lot.
I said Ron Jeremy.
But I'm going to take another pitcher. I'm going to take a guy that I'm pretty confident I haven't drafted either.
Walker Buehler. Wow. We can take Cole.
Yeah.
Cole is not being drafted. Sorry. Yeah, Walker Buehler, he looks good too. I don't know how to feel about that. Xander Bogaerts, thank God. I don't have to take him. I'm going with Nathaniel Lowe. This is my second Washington National. I have James Wood. Taking a shit ton of, I think he's my most rostered infielder. So no shock.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about Lowe, honestly. I think he's a good pick because he goes so late.
Yeah.
And if that Nationals offense pops off, like he's going to drive in runs. And he is like a walk machine too. So I think the points are going to come. It's just, it might be like a steadier balance than a spike week type of profile.
Not too great. I mean, the park change is somewhat positive from the Rangers to the Nationals. Nothing too crazy. But, I mean, the offense is a downgrade, but the biggest thing is he was coming off surgery coming into last season. He still performed really well. And I know there's another gear for him. It really depends on Wood and Cruz, but I'm already banking on the Nationals being good given how my drafts have gone. And since I've taken Wood in this one anyway. So yeah, we're on the Nationals this year, at least with the hope of the offense being good.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance of it. I don't think Cruz is nearly as like bad as he was last year. And I think James Wood has like first round upside, right?
Hopefully. And
if Nathaniel Lowe's batting behind him, like it's going to be really, really nice. I almost hope that they there's somebody I'm forgetting. Oh, CJ Abrams is in the mix too.
Yeah, he's a weird one. It's just he's a good real life player, but I mean good fantasy guy too, but I don't know how I feel about points leagues.
Yeah, he's a guy that I have a hard time getting around on. I have drafted a decent bit because I draft a lot of James Wood.
Fair.
But I don't really draft them other than that, like as a single guy, like a one-off. I don't know how to feel about him. I've obviously evaluated all these players over the course of 361 drafts, but
I just hate the quote unquote knucklehead aspect.
I'm not
know the guy
personally. That.
I don't blame the guy gambling in the middle of the night, but
yeah, he's one of us.
Yeah, he's real, but it's like me wanting to hang out with him is a little different than me drafting him and banking on him.
Yeah. I'm not worried about what happened at the end of last season.
Fair.
He supposedly showed up to camp like a couple days early and was like ready to work and has been kicking ass.
Wow,
in camp.
Ryan Weathers, the helium is hitting.
He hit 99 on the gun today or yesterday. When was it?
This is the all helium. Oh my God. What's it called? Bare Wires says Weathers, Williams, Clay Holmes.
Yeah. I have
All spring training
some
risers.
Gavin Williams. I have
I have
some
none.
Gavin Williams.
I don't
Oh,
think he's gonna be
really?
healthy. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be healthy.
Interesting.
He had
I think the talent's there.
no, he had the
I always
elbow
have,
injury
but
and then a setback last year. I'm out.
wait, did I miss something on Mackenzie Gore?
Yeah, he fell a lot. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I
why
don't
did he go
nothing-
at 199?
Maybe did he have a poor
Insanity.
spring training outing or whatever? Okay,
I don't
I'm probably
know.
taking
People
another
overreact
picture.
though.
Yeah,
I reached for him today in a draft. Like that's kind of
not
crazy.
shocking. Let's see. I'm probably gonna go with another. God. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with another pitcher. Someone I take a lot. Jesus Luzardo, the Jesus Lizard, or Jesus Luzardo.
Yes, Jesus Luzardo. Yeah, a lot of upside, man. And then he's followed by the other Jesus,
Jesus Sanchez. Yeah, I just don't like taking. I mean, I know he's a good player, but Marlins are so gross. The park.
Okay, I have a game plan here.
Players you don't like. Who's a player you don't like?
Tanner Houck.
Tanner Houck. Really, you don't like Tanner Houck? I think he has some upside.
I've been chasing him for years, and he was finally good last year, and he paid off. It's just I don't trust that he puts in enough innings. He doesn't have it in his
Arm.
History. Yeah.
I mean, because he was a reliever, or he was a starter turned reliever, turned back to a starter.
Boston's done that with so many guys, and we don't really have a sample size on how that's worked out yet.
I mean, at least it wasn't injury related. It was more performance related. And hey, Giolito just got hurt, so I don't know if they're going to be able to run that 6-man that they want to.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting with that rotation because they have a lot of mid, in my opinion, outside of Crochet.
You're not wrong.
It's guys that just But I was going to say about Houck, we don't really know how that strategy works out of kind of slow playing these young arms. Because Tanner Houck was a top prospect at a time. But they did it with Cutter Crawford. They did it with Garrett Whitlock. So do we really know how that's gonna pan out? I don't know.
Take my 7th pitcher
I don't like
here.
shuttling.
It's me. I'm gonna go. I don't have a lot of him, but I'm gonna take Nathan Eovaldi.
He was at the bottom of my pitcher exposures that we never looked at.
Oh, interesting.
I have 13%.
Yeah, no, Eovaldi just historically good offense, should get some wins. I mean, good team, excuse me. I've taken a lot of Lodolo. I don't know, just got to mix it up a little bit here and there. Luzardo, just these guys I've drafted already have so much of. Sanchez, Bybee. I don't have too much Nathan Eovaldi, but I've grown a little more fond of him. David Peterson, that's an interesting pick here.
With all the Mets injuries, I mean,
Tyler McGill looks good too. I think I'd take McGill.
I love Tyler McGill. Tyler McGill.
If I was going to take any of the Mets later round starters, it would be McGill. Shaw, it seems like he's going to Tokyo. That's big. Reese Olson's hitting 95 now?
All the helium.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So Olson, Weathers, Williams. This is just not to say he didn't do his research, but he's just drafting based off of what's going on recently. So shout out to Reese Olson.
I do like the picks though. I think Ryan Weathers could be good.
Minus Williams, I like all these pitchers in this range.
I like Williams. I like Holmes.
I like him conceptually.
Yeah. Gavin Williams, if he's healthy, I think could be really, really good.
Big if.
Yeah, it's funny. We're just saying, oh yeah, I like this guy. It's I've done so much data research, diving, looking at numbers when it comes to this stuff, that at this point I'm like, oh yeah, I like this guy. I don't have anything to put out there anymore. It's just my brain's so fried.
Yeah, I mean 150 drafts is a lot, man. You took Arenado, someone you haven't taken too much. He doesn't walk anymore, basically, or at all.
He's a big fade too.
You think he's declining enough, even off the shoulder surgery being a year removed? Do you think he's going to be just bad again?
I think I've dodged him every year since his MVP season.
Wow.
I don't.
Almost at the end, by the way.
Draft him.
Wow, Logan O'Hoppe and Zach Neto. I mean, Neto goes pretty often. Keller.
I kind of like that. It's unique.
Yeah, I honestly I like these last few picks by Pyro a lot.
I love Keller. I love Eflin.
I
So
do too.
yeah,
And I mean, Neto, I don't love, but like I like that he stacked. Did he take any other Angels? Is the thing I'm trying to.
he didn't take Ward because you did, and
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
didn't
take
take
Trout. I
Trout
don't
either.
think.
Yeah, I mean, he took Otani, who's
Just
no
those
longer
two.
an Angel, but curious.
Joe, I just realized Joe Dell went at 189 too. That's
Yeah, I would have
interesting.
considered him, but alas, no longer.
I was pounding the table for Joe Adell in
You were.
the last stream we did.
You are
His
a
ADP
Joe
pushed
Adell
up
guy.
while I was gone.
I'm trying to see what I could do here. Semi-unique. There's not much that I see. I guess I'm gonna be a little boring. How bad or how injury prone is my outfield? I mean, O'Neill, Lowe, Tatis. I gotta lean into it sometimes.
You should want it to be as injury prone as possible.
Mm-hmm. Let's go all in on Baltimore. A Kierstad, another Kierstad. I've taken him a lot recently, especially. I mean, even every league. He's so cheap, and I mean, he was the second overall pick. He's okay in spring. He's struck out a few times, a few too many times, some might say. Who are you looking at here?
Well, I'm gonna take Ronel Blanco because I don't have any.
Another accumulator. Just he's there.
Yeah, and you know what I just noticed too is we'll look at it when this draft is done. You got to see my pitching staff.
I'm excited. I mean, I see Bueller, Barrios, and Ronell so far.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I did not do this intentionally.
I think we know that.
No. It's super.
Oh, there's a thread.
I'll show you. Yeah, there's like a trend to it.
Interesting.
It's weird.
Let's see. Okay, who's this last guy that you're taking? And is there somebody you would have drafted that was taken recently for your all fade team?
No, because at this point in the draft, I'm like fading most guys, and there's just guys I like. I'm gonna take. Oh, I just saw his name. I'm gonna take. Where did you go? Oh, Bryce Terang. I don't really have a lot.
Disgusting, but you
yeah, I just don't take him. That's what this team is, man. It's the all players I don't like team.
At least you have some correlation. Did you take other Milwaukee guys? You have Terang. That's about it.
Not.
SF. That's your only Junku. We'll get into it right now. I'm gonna go with my longtime boy, Ryan Mountcastle. Just go all in with the Baltimore stack. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I like it. You have 5 Orioles?
I think Kierstad, Mountcastle, Holiday, O'Neill, and Westberg.
5?
25% of my team is Baltimore Orioles. Screw it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't do it often, but when I do it with good offenses. So
yeah, if anything, we'll see how that one goes. Tampa Bay, I have naked, Pittsburgh, Philly, and the Angels. But that's kind of the risk you run when you go 5 deep on one team.
Yeah.
This draft is nearly complete. Let's check out your team in 1 second. Can I click on your name here to get your team up?
I don't think so. I've never tried, but I don't know.
Yeah. Here.
I think
I'll just do it. This is pretty much done. Here, I'll get this going from your team. Okay. Screen share.
So this, you're going to see the pitching staff, and I want to see if you realize what happened.
Okay,
because
you went 7.
I'm telling
6,
you right
7.
now.
At least you followed it.
No, that's your team.
Oh, this is my team. Could have sworn this was yours. There we go. 776. Excuse me. Framber, Gossman, Wu, Barrios, Walker, Hawk, Blanco.
Do you notice what happened?
Why is it? Oh, it's because the draft ended. It went back to my team real quick. 1 second. What happened?
I'm telling you, it's entirely unintentional, but I stacked pitchers.
Oh, okay. Toronto, Houston. And then the Soul Seattle. Yeah, I didn't notice that. Interesting.
Yeah, it just happened to work that way. I didn't
I mean,
notice it until I was going to take Blanco.
we discussed it. It's not the craziest thing.
No, it kind of works. It just, I guess it tells you like how I feel about certain teams in a way.
Yeah, you're not a fan of Boston's pitching or Houston's pitching or
Yeah,
well, I mean, Wu. You like Wu? No, I mean we like Wu the pitcher. It's
I
just his
like
health.
Wu. Yeah, it's just I don't trust him.
I don't trust him either. Trey
I don't like
Turner's
AL
team.
East pitchers.
Altuve, Win, Bohm, Arenado, Terang. So speedsters in Win, in Terang, Trey. Yeah, that's kind of what we avoid. We're looking for more power. Simeon's more of an accumulator.
Yep.
Even though he's on a good team. Bohm, accumulator. Arenado, accumulator at this point. Yeah, these aren't really high variance guys.
Yeah, no. This is like
anymore.
the polar opposite of a team I would normally draft. So
yeah,
I think I succeeded. With this all hate draft.
All hate. Outfield, Jordan, who I like. Duran, who I don't love. Reynolds, Castellanos, Springer, Lee, I've warmed up to, but at 110, no thanks. Like, I'll take Lee at the 130-ish range if I have Chapman, if I get Helio. But
I love this team. I love this team because of what I was trying to accomplish.
And you accomplished it. You accomplished a team that you hate.
And look at the projected total too. 22,000.
That's
like
high.
One of the highest I've seen.
Yeah, I don't see
for my. I don't.
That's
it's not something I care about, but it's just hilarious that it ended up that way.
Let's look at my team. Let me know how you think. Yeah, I'm well behind you. 21,300 in terms of projection. 767, very typical for me. Pablo, Cease, Bybee, Sanchez, Fat, Luzardo, Eovaldi. Outside of Eovaldi, this is a very standard pitcher room for me.
Yeah, this looks like a Dan pitching staff too. So
I don't know how to feel about that. But yeah, I mean, Luzardo at 201, I'm not mad at that. And Eovaldi,
that's crazy. Yeah,
Eovaldi at 208, it's just, is he going to get me 180 innings again? I don't know. But
I don't think you need 180 for him to pay off the price.
Yeah, he pitches deep into games. The K's, it's like a K per inning, kind of.
Hard to find that this late.
Yeah, it was him or Lodolo, and I just have so much Lodolo, and it's like I have to wean myself off it because there's so many pitchers. Like I could have taken Grant Holmes and David Festa or Ryan Weathers, who went earlier, and Holmes. Like it's like pop up pitchers left and right. Max Meyer, people like. I don't love Max Meyer right now, but like
neither do I.
Yeah, it's just there's just so many guys. Infield, Machado standard, O'Neill standard, Westberg. Holiday more recently. Lowe is a standard pick. Mountcastle's a pretty standard pick. I didn't really stray. How do you feel about only going 6 infielders on this one?
It's semi-thin, but it could work because, like, in a way, you're betting on Jackson Holiday to have a big year.
Yeah.
So it's fine. Yeah. I'd probably go 7-7-6 on this team, or maybe even 6 pitchers because you went Cease and Lopez.
Yeah, Lowe, I probably should have gone Bohm over Lowe because I thought I could get a Brandon Lau. I thought I was going to get Morel, but then the draft didn't go that way. I could have still taken Morel over a Mountcastle, but I pushed the chips in on Baltimore.
Yeah, I know you like Mountcastle.
I do. Fernando Tatis, Schwarber naked, Wood with Lowe, Ward naked, O'Neill in the Baltimore stack, Lowe, as discussed, in Kierstad. I don't love Kierstad, but I've taken him just because he's at the end of the draft. And if he is DHing regularly for Baltimore, that's just so valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, the outfield room looks like a Dan room, too.
Again, I don't know how to feel about that, but
you should like that. You should like that.
I don't love the Dan team you drafted here.
Oh,
but
no,
obviously
not today.
All-fade team.
Yeah, not today. Not today.
But I'm excited about this team. It's just a really standard team I've drafted a few times. But yeah, I don't know. Like, this is your last dinger. How do you feel? Are you relieved?
In a way, I still have a couple more drafts to do. I got to do a couple frozen ropes.
Hell yeah!
But might just save those for future episodes.
Love it. and we will have those episodes coming up later this week. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Another great hour and a half, drafting, talking sleepers. As always, if you guys have questions, concerns, feel free to mention them in the comments. Hit up me or Dan on Twitter. We are both extremely online, sadly. But Dan, any final words?
No, that was fun. Glad we could do it after the week and a half break.
Yeah, we're finally back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, make sure to follow Dan at Dan Preciado over on Twitter. Follow myself at Rotosurgeon over on Twitter. I am on Blue Sky as well, but at the same time, I do not want to be on Blue Sky. It is awful over there. But it is also awful on Twitter, so I can't really win. I will have more content coming up over at Fantasy Pros and Razzball. I'll have my Razzball Ambulance Chasers piece up every weekend, every Saturday, to be specific. Fantasy Pros is a little more sporadic, but I did just release my Home Run Sleepers article. Dan, anything cool you're working on?
Not at the moment. I just got back to work this week, so
hell yeah,
not really. Yeah, nothing really going on.
Training though, you got your little spring break, so
yeah, very true.
Well, we're back. We're gonna keep grinding. We're gonna get more streams out there. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. We do appreciate your time. From me and Dan at the Draft Dodgers. Talk soon.